Today's topic is Aleyenu l'Shabeach. I think I heard this once in Rabbi Leibtag. Aleyenu l'Shabeach has another nickname that's called Tfilat HaDerech. And that's, people recite Aleyenu l'Shabeach literally as they have one foot out the door, which is often the case. And actually, very interesting how the halacha perceives Aleyenu l'Shabeach. Aleyenu l'Shabeach probably originally was only said on Rosh Hashanah. It's part of the tefillah of Musaf, and later on it became more accepted to recite it, as we'll soon see, at the end of what's called Siyum HaTefillah, and it demarcates the end of davening. Interesting, since we're on the festival of Yamim Noraim, I feel I should mention it. We do not recite Aleyenu Shabeach if we're davening back to back. I believe in Europe, when they would daven Mincha and Marv back to back, they actually did not say Aleyenu after Mincha. That is not our practice. We feel this when there's Musaf in the morning, because we go to Shachris Musaf, there's no Aleyenu after Shachris, and we really feel it on Yom Kippur itself. When we only recite two Aleynus, one is Mariv, the night of Yom Kippur, and of course the next Aleynu isn't until Motzei Yom Kippur Mariv, right? So it's a full, why? Because Yom Kippur has a day of called Yom Tefillah. It says a Yom Tefillah. You never say Aleyenu, which demarcates a Siyum HaTefillah, and there is no Siyum HaTefillah on Yom Kippur. Okay, with that introduction, we are ready to begin. What's also fascinating about Aleyenu is its text, because we're going to see a whole stickle controversy about its text. Those are, I think, the two major components of Aleyenu. Is it represents Siyum HaTefillah, 1, and 2. It's one line, slightly controversial phrase. So those are, I think, the two main components. Let's take a look at those sources inside. So again, says the editor, we say Aleyenu, and according to our Masorah, Yeshua bin Nun tiken and Nusach l'Shabech when he entered the land of Israel. And after the Churban, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai says it should be recited regularly. I.e., until Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, it was only recited perhaps on Rosh Hashanah. Okay, that's what I want to just point out. Okay. The Magen Avraham. Mofet Gadol, Kedushato v'Chashivato. Now, Gulam Ro B'Amidah. We recite Aleyenu standing because of its chashivas, because it's important. The Magen Avraham, again, we're talking, right, very quote unquote, somewhat recent, says the minhag is to say it 3 times a day. We don't say Aleyenu in between the two. That is the makor for not saying it after Shacharit when there's Musaf. The Ramah says, in 19, Omrim Achar Simat Tefillin Shabeach, we say it standing. V'zahir le'omro b'kavana. So maybe not like Tefillat HaDerech. Right? It should be recited with proper kavana. And here we go. U'misheagia el lo yoshia. So that's el, not kill, because that's referring to an idol. An el, a power. By the way, don't misunderstand. An el just means a power. Right? Lo yoshia, that doesn't provide salvation. Yafsik ma'at kodem sheyomar v'anachnu korim. So that's one thing we have to say when we say the phrase Shem Mishtachavim Havarim Palalim El Lo Yoshia V'anachnu. We have to pause during that time. Often Amr Neshabech. Okay, here we go. So this is
what's the reason for that?
Because otherwise it sounds like you're saying that God doesn't provide salvation. El Lo Yoshia V'anachnu Korim is bad.
El.
So you want to make sure it's L2 and L, which are Yoshia, comma, V'anachnu Korim Mishtachavim, right? We want to make that
those lines and like Shema.
Right, you got to make sure there's like a pause there, otherwise it could be, LL, Lo Yoshia V'anachnu Korim. You know what I mean? You got to be careful how I guess you phrase it. Okay, now this is, for every reason, the printing here got a little mixed up, but we'll be able to understand the predominant component. Here we go, Piskei Tshuva. This goes back to fascinating historical context. It says in Piskei Tshuva in source 20, if you take a look, gentlemen, at all the Siddurim that we have, Machzor Vitri, Machzor Rashi, we're talking about Siddurim of the Siddur of Haigon, right? Siddurim that are 1,000 years old, they all print Shem Yishachem Heva Varik. You will see certain Siddurim which will put it in brackets, and certain ones that are omitted altogether. I'm pretty sure the predominant Siddurim printed in the modern era all include that phrase, right?
No?
Is it bracketed?
I think article's bracketed.
Yeah. Art scroll parentheses?
Yeah.
Okay.
What about the Holy Quran?
I'm not, but the Hebrew art scroll, the English art scroll.
For sure.
Yes, well, do me a favor. Can you pass the Hebrew art scroll that's behind you?
It's so far though.
What, they both do?
Yeah, the Hebrew one does.
I know. I think the English one. Yeah, the English one does.
The English one does?
Pretty sure. Yeah.
Here we go. I know you guys are nervous, worried. What's it going to say? Yep. Bracket in the Hebrew. And there's a line 1 next to it, which quotes Yeshayahu, which isn't really totally accurate. But okay. Because it's only cut words in Yeshayahu. But anyways, doesn't matter. Okay. Now, what's the rationale behind it? Not the bracket part. Why are we saying it? It says the following. V'ramzu bo b'gematria oto ha'ish. So the gematria of Yeshu Hanotzri is Hevel Varik. So gematria. And of the Ishmaelim, that's referring to Muhammad, do the gematria in your own time. Ubimerutzat Hadorat. However, what happened was, Hushma Mirava Sidur Machmad Dirat at Censura. Because of the danger of the censorship, the Christians were in charge of the printing press. The Jews were worried that the Christians would realize, pick up, that this phrase was there because it was an anti-Christian statement, which is impossible because the text was written hundreds, but many, many years that predates Christianity. And it's clear later on it happened to be the Ammonite Gematria, but that clearly wasn't the reason why it was there. But nonetheless, it was removed, which is why some people put it in brackets and some people omitted it because they were scared. But I don't believe today where there's such a threat, of saying it, which is why most people hold we should reinstate it and recite it again. I'm pretty sure that's the predominant opinion today, that everyone really says it today.
Like you're supposed to say, if you don't say, you're not fulfilling.
So that's a very interesting thing. Again, fulfilling Aleyenu. What does it mean to fulfill Aleyenu? You know what I mean? The Ruach HaMizak said, Chayav Adam Likro Hevel Varek Shosha Pim Bayam. You know. And by the way, also an old minhag was to spit. Riki kasher minuchsaseh shemem misham hevel varik. Right? That was the proper minhag. That actually, this is written in the Taz in your day. Amashinogin birikika kodev anachnu korim. Da'akol yodim sharikika lebizayon hagilulim shal ovdei kochavim. Because it was, I need a shofar. I forgot. Sorry, I got to take it to my meeting today. I don't know. Figure it out. We'll find a shofar on the shul.
Go to the kollel.
These v'chi kavod shamayim. It is kavod shamayim. Shemazir acharkach. The Shalach HaKadosh, however, in his Sefer Emek Bracha, is mepakbek on this Rakika. He's, I don't know, are you really start spitting in shul? Maybe it's not appropriate to spit in shul. It's a bizayon the bekinet, what's what? You're showing the bizayon of a idol. But what about a bizayon of Kedusha Bekneset, right? Why does one actually trump the other? Anyways. So he said that one of the reasons why he was in doubt of this minhag, because what people would do, they'd say, V'anachnu korim, and then they would spit. So the Meha'aretz, who didn't know what they were saying, would spit at the wrong time. And that would also perhaps be a bizayon. Interesting.
You're not going to show you don't know what's going on. You see everyone spit.
You spit too, Anyways, very interesting. A little bit should be together. Harak b'fnei chavera v'nimash. You're supposed to spit in front of your friend. And honestly, you should go really, gear up there to give a spit. And that's also being inappropriate. Anyways, very interesting. He says the minhag kadmon. This is just amazing. You should be careful with the last line. When I read it, I was shocked. You should spit and wait. And then you should say, this is a real, again, one of those things that we really do not see today. I don't know. I don't think it's prevalent in Sephardi shuls. I don't know if it, in any community, if they do it today, but it's a fascinating topic. Anyways, well, I'm sure, exactly, I'm sure. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, you've seen it?
I think so.
Okay, it could be. Okay, then we get into more tachlis. So then you bend your knees by korim. When you say v'nachnu korim, and when you say mishtachavim, mishtachavia berosho v'gufo. So your whole head, then you bend your knees and you bend down. And with the bir heidev b'shem the ri zal shishtacha ve'ishtachavia. I'm not sure what that word is. V'chen katav b'sidr the sidr yavitz. I see. Maybe he's talking about the Riyah Kadosh. We go all the way down. I'm not quite sure. We don't knock all the way down. We just go down to our, bend a little bit. Lahashir haguf harosh which is your face actually becomes parallel to the floor. Okay. Okay, what happens if you walk into shul and they're saying Aleyenu? So you're supposed to sit with them. That is the Isha Yisrael 21. You have to say with them. However, even if you're not done with them. However, if you're saying or even Psugid Zimra, you can't say with them. What do? You fake the bend. When they say Koram Mishtachim, you should do it too, so it doesn't look like you are not agreeing with what the tzibur is doing. What about if you daven at a Minhag Ashkenaz shul or a Minhag Sfard shul, and you're the different Nusach? Meaning, you're davening Nusach Sfard and the Minhag Ashkenaz, or vice versa. And they say Aleyenu, as you know, at a different time. What do? Do you say Aleyenu with the tzibur? Do your flip-flop of Shir Shiom and Aleyenu? Says the Yishe Yisrael, Haragil Yitpala b'Nusach Ashkenaz, she'omrim b'Aleyenu achar v'alzion, v'tamid Pala b'Knesset, which is Nusach Sfard, she'omrim b'Aleyenu b'Simat Tefillah, Yomar Aleyenu b'Simat Tefillah ke'minhag hamakom. You have to say Aleyenu like the minhag hamakom, because again, you need to say Aleyenu with the tzibur. However, listen to this. Not surprising. Comes along Ravadid Yosef, and it's Sfaradim Plaminya b'Nusach Ashkenaz. Hem omrim Aleyenu l'char Yavaltzion. Ain't Sarach l'Hasif l'mar mahem. Not so surprising. Ravadid Yosef says, no, I don't have to say Aleyenu. You say it like a Sephardi. And that is the Yalkut Yosef in 22. Okay? He just says you can't sit, you should just stand, but he says you're not obligated to say it. You say it in the proper order of the tefillah, which is, we've seen that a couple times already. Rabbi Yosef take such a stance. Okay, we're going to end there for today. And Mirz Hashem, our last topic in this unit is a person who has to run out and leave davening a little bit early, what they need to, how they need to act appropriately. Have a wonderful day, everybody.